Hola, mi Bishes. Tis I, Clois, aka Manny Bish, over on Instagram. Today we're doing a little ombre moment. I have Salty But Sweet from Manny Boss, Bubbly from Rebel, and Sassy French Pink from uh what? From Hello? Brain? Sparkle & Co. There we go. And these are the new dip liquids I am trying. So I know they're not like new, but they're new to me because y'all know that I have had a fixture in my heart for Manny Boss dip liquids, and I decided that I needed to venture out and try something else. I do still have Manny Boss as my favorite, and so we are trying CN designer dips today for our um, dip liquids and such. So here, this is the very first time I use them. You can probably tell that it I noticed this that it was a little gummy at first with cleaning around the cuticle and such with the dip powder. I notice this sometimes um with certain dip liquids that I have tried. I've tried a few different brands, but Manny Boss has just always been the one to stick. Um, but it only happened this first Manny. Afterwards, it hasn't happened again. So I don't know. I don't know. It was a fluke. So, anyways, we'll carry on. For this ombre, I am dipping completely into Sassy French Pink, and then you'll see me try and buff in Salty But Sweet into it. I did this for the first layer, and we're going to do something a little different for the second layer just because the pigment wasn't pigmenting on that purple that I wanted. So we're just gonna continue on the same way for this first layer on all the fingers, but I am gonna switch it up for the second layer. So yeah. And see, even without like dipping it in, it was a little like gummy, not gummy. Is gummy the word, like sticky? As I was putting it, just wiping it on the nail, so I don't know what was happening. But like I said, it since this first time using it, it hasn't done that again. So I don't know, it was a little odd. But I've been using them since this Manny. I think I've done about like 4 or 5 other Mannies with it, maybe more. Trying to think of all the videos that I have, but it has not been like that since, and it's been perfectly fine since then. So, yeah, there's that. So, I did that dabbing method, scrub method on that first layer on all the nails. As you can tell, that purple pigment just didn't really want to stick like that. So, for this second layer, I am going to do this a little different, and I am going to actually be doing the tapping method. So I am putting all of that purple pigment there right at the tip, and I'm doing this one first because it does have that less pigment and I need it more pigmented. How many times can I say pigment in this video? I don't know. And then I'm going in at the cuticle area with that Sassy French Pink because that is our like base color, if you will. And just gonna clean that up. And then when I dust it off, I am gonna do a little extra scrubbing, just to get a nice blend. So you're going to see me. I had some little issues there with that stuff. So you're gonna see me use this, and I'm going in right at where those two colors meet, and I am just dabbing it in, and just to get that pigment to stick. And then with this fluffy brush that had the Sassy French Pink on it, I am going in and just kind of swirling it into it to get a blend. And there it is. That's what it looks like after one coat of doing it this way. I mean, we do have that other layer underneath. So, anyways, the pigment is already pigmenting a lot better. So I'm going to do the same thing on all 5 fingers. I'm not showing you all 5 fingers because it's very repetitive. It is the same thing all the way around, starting at the free edge on this layer right there at the tip, going up, and then I am going to bring in that Sassy French Pink right at the cuticle and the rest of the nail, and then we're just clean up. And when I go to dust away that extra powder, I am like really actually going in there and infusing it a little bit more by tapping and dabbing and scrubbing it in, and then taking that extra brush and just getting that light color in there even more too. And it's going to help create our blend. So there we have it. And then I am going to do one more layer. I do go in after all of that still to do my scrubby brush, get any extra loose powder. I know we like dust it off with the other brushes, but just to make sure any loose powder is out of the way. And then we're going to do one more layer, and this time we're going to be starting with the Sassy French Pink first, and then going in with that purple last. You want to switch the order that you do it in, because whatever hits the dip liquid first is going to stick, right? You put powder on top of powder, the powder that you put on second isn't going to stick because it's already been covered with the first powder. So you want to switch it up because it's going to give you that better layering effect, which is going to be blending even better in that middle ground. So I start with that. Then I'm going to come in again with my purple, and we are going to again do a little scrubby action there in the middle to mesh the two colors together. I have found that that actually really just works amazingly to get a good blend. These colors are, they're not similar, but they are similar enough that you can tell there's a difference between the cuticle and the free edge, but it's not huge. It's very subtle, and it's the blend, right? So that's what you want. You want it to kind of look like it's just melting from one color to another. So that taking the extra like second to scrub in that in between middle ground where the two colors meet really helps. So that is what I'm doing. This is going to be, and see, then if I don't like where one color is like too high or I think it's too low, I can go back in and just add a little bit more like I did there and work with what I want my ombre to look like. And then see, I didn't like the blend. I felt like it was too harsh. So then I can go in and it blended a lot better. They're ombres, you have to manipulate them to be what you want them to be. That's the issue with ombres. So after that, that was my third and final layer. After that, I am coming in with bubbly and going over top of 3 fingers. Just my ring, pinky, and thumb are going to have bubbly on them. And bubbly is it's a sheer pink, almost like it is translucent, but almost the pink isn't pinking like crazy pink. It's a like a cover pink. Is that what I'm thinking? Yes. Um, and so that shimmer though is what's going to stay in what I wanted on with being able to see the ombre underneath. So that is what I'm using, and then um, so I'm doing that on my ring finger, pinky, and thumb, and then we're gonna dust that off, and then I'm going to use activator here. Just kidding, I got ahead of myself. I need to clear cap. You want to clear cap when you do any kind of situation involving sprinkles. I almost said sprinkles. Sparkles, glitter, shimmer. But you do want to do it when you do an ombre too to protect that blend, because when you file, you could you could file away that blended effect in the center of the nail, and you don't want to do that. You want to protect it at all costs. You worked so hard on that ombre, don't let filing mess it up. So after I have clear capped, I am, before even activating, going around my cuticles with this very thin metal file. This is just become my life-saving tool around the cuticles, just to get any thing that could be stuck there before you harden it. While it's still, because the activator is going to harden and really set everything into place. It's already set because the dip base has dried, but it's not completely stiff yet. So I do like to do that before I use activator while it's still semi-soft. And then if I need to go back in once it's hard and after activator, I can do that too. But just a tip, before activating, you could go ahead and go around your cuticles and just get some of that stuff off so you don't harden it to your skin right there or anything. Now, I am going to be doing some little flower moments. Um, Not whole flowers though on these nails. So I'm putting 3 dots here. I'm just going to take my dotting tool and liner brush dual ended from Maniology and just do these little flower petals, and that's easy. Just 3 dots and then pull them towards the center together. I'm like imagining a center focal point that I'm pulling them towards. And these um the dual-ended liner brush dotting tools are from Maniology. I do have a discount code with them, 10% off your cart, minus it doesn't work on sub boxes, but code CLOYCE, CLOYCE. Those are always in the description box, codes and affiliates and such. And the gel paints are from Amazon, which are also linked in my Amazon storefront, and I do link those in the description box as well when I do these videos with the gel paint. So, same situation on this little guy. Just imagining that center focal point and then dragging those from the dot inwards to said center point. And on some of them, I am leaving a little bit of room because I do actually want to put a center point little. So here I'm going to do that on this little flower here. Didn't do one at the free edge because it's, I don't know, I didn't want a dot like that at the free edge. I really liked the way it was looking with not having a dot. And then I'm switching it up and going in with some white too, just to freshen it up. We've got purple on purple. We're going to add some white, make it real springy. And at this point, now we're getting close to summer. Well, I mean, to me, summer is when school ends, but I know technically summer doesn't start until the end of June. So I guess it is technically still spring, Manny. Okay, so here we are applying activator, waiting 1 to 2 minutes until nails harden, file buff, and then we are applying activator again, waiting 1 to 2 minutes, and then first apply the top coat, and then wait 30 to 60 seconds, and then apply a second top coat, but here, and then it gives you like the quick little just base, dip, repeat, activator, wait 1 minute, file, activate, wait a minute, boom, boom, boom. So rules don't really change with dip liquids, but some companies do have a little like different time waiting game going on. So it is good to read those. I have generally found what works really well for me. But anywho, I wiped off my nails with a lint-free wipe after activating. You want to wipe off any excess just so it doesn't harden your brush. And so again with that, since we do have activator on our nails, you want to wipe off your brush before dipping it in the bottle, because you do not want to put that activator from your nails into that bottle and you are going to ruin that whole bottle of dip top coat. So wipe your brush off in between fingers and in between putting that brush in back in the bottle. And then by the time I'm gotten to my pinky, it's already been about 30 seconds. So I'm just going right back in at my thumb, and I am doing my final one, and I am, what you call it? Free edge, capping the free edge. And I you don't have to by the time you do your second coat, so you'll see like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I really do try to still wipe my brush off in between fingers on the second coat still. You don't have to. You're less likely at this point to contaminate because you've already got that layer in between the activator and your brush now, with already having done the first layer. But it is still just a good idea to, precaution. It just extra careful. You don't want to ruin your liquids sooner than need be, because if you're doing your nails more frequently, like I do, you do have a chance of going through a whole bottle with no problems. But on average, using your dip liquids every 2 to 3 weeks or once a month, it, they only last a certain time. It's gonna eventually start to deteriorate anyways on its own. So you don't want to ruin them faster than need be. And so they dried. Here is my nails. I will say I am still trying to get the hang of the top coat. I have noticed a few little, like, it doesn't dry smooth like my Manny Boss top coat does. So sometimes I will catch some like rugged bumpiness. Oh, and they glow. So there you go. But overall, as of right now, I do like the base and activator. I think they're great. Top coat, still working on. But yeah, this is my Manny. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and an ombre tutorial, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, Bisshhh. I came back just to say, look at this glow. Look at it.